Everybody, welcome to Trading Capital's exclusive analysis. In today's video, we're discussing natural gas, the Widowmaker, and that's certainly the name it's been living up to as of recently. I've been receiving a lot of comments, a lot of feedback, a lot of emails regarding this asset class and the commodity itself. Is it finally going to bottom? Are we going lower? Is it going negative? There's a lot of fear down here, and what that tells me is that's often the opportunity to start buying and accumulating a position on the long side. Now, of course, many people are stuck accumulating natural gas at a much higher price than it already is, and if you've been stuck in this price, a lot of people play the levered ETFs, so it could be double or triple the losses that you're currently experiencing, which is never an easy thing to sit through, and this is why they call it the Widowmaker, because it has these massive moves, both to the upside and the downside. I mean, simply looking at these high to low reversals, these measured moves should hold some technical support. But when people are over levered, just like when people are short something, short squeezes can take things to absolute unbelievable heights, just like we saw in, say, SMCI, right? A short float, people getting squeezed, and then it has that epic, huge reversal down. Well, nat gas, I believe, is going through the same thing. There's a lot of long positions just being unwinded and forced liquidated because they're completely underwater on their positions, and this is why we're seeing such a torrential downpour in price action, completely breaking massive levels. But the positive sign for the bulls, there's a few positives that we're going to discuss, and personally, just full disclosure, if you're interested in how I'm trading it, definitely check out my tradingcapital.ca. I'm bullish. I have been accumulating. I still hopefully wanted to maybe go a little bit lower to accumulate a full position, and but let's discuss for the bullish people out here and if it makes sense for a short-term trade or even a long-term investment. Look at this massive pivot that we're coming into. This was your COVID low. Again, price action when the whole economy shut down, nat gas was basically trading down here. We're now at that area. So you ask yourself, what was the GDP during the COVID drop? What is the GDP now? Is growth still happening? Is the labor market still robust and resilient? And to answer those questions, growth is much higher and the labor market is still resilient. So why is natural gas falling? You know, there's a lot of different reasons, but mainly I think it's over leveraged people. And from the amount of emails I've received and comments on these videos, I do think that we're nearing a bottom. And to support that fact, if we look at, say, the natural gas futures chart, which is NG1, take a look at these support zones we're coming into. You know, a massive, again, major pivot. There is a daily chart gap fill around this 144. That could be where we're heading, but even at these levels, you have to start taking a shot on the long side. One bullish aspect about the UNG chart, which is a ETF that a lot of people in America play, take a look at this long-term trend line. So pivot low to pivot low, and look what we just hit and basically have been trading at as of the Thursday and Friday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right at that pivot low support channel. So that is just really interesting to see. If I actually highlight this symmetrical channel, again, this is a symmetrical channel, so the markets love to move in symmetry. Human nature loves symmetry. And basically, take a look at this retrace pivot here, rejection off of resistance, big sell-off. This is where you had a huge support bounce, and then you had another kind of blow-off top in the UNG space. So this should act as a massive zone for the UNG chart, which is why you're actually seeing such an immense amount of volume being traded. I do believe we're at the stages of a capitulation. The volume trends kind of support that. Just like we had a little bit of a near-term top here off of high volume, you're seeing a heavy degree of UNG volume traded at these lower boundary price actions. Now, to go a little bit deeper into a position, an actual natural gas stock, just like gold miners often in a bull market lead the price action in gold because it's more of the speculative money chasing the higher commodity prices. Same thing is true. If you see natural gas stocks technically having breakouts and putting up good earnings report reactions, that's usually signifying a potential near-term low in the actual natural gas chart. So, what stock I'm talking about? AR. My members are long AR off of we're long AR before this earnings reaction. Look at this big gap up and continuation. AR is trying to break this little bit of a technical downtrend. It tried once, got rejected off of the selling pressure in nat gas, and look at the relative strength divergence in this AR chart. Huge big area of support where it's bouncing, Massive positive earnings report reaction, and this is all on the back of natural gas continuing to decline and decline and decline. Nat gas really hasn't had a bounce since this 315 level. It's been a straight shot decline of roughly 49%. Even a basic 10% rule should yield a really big bounce off of this level. But I could easily see a 30 to 40% bounce retracing back to 225 at the minimum for nat gas. And a lot of the natural gas stocks are kind of showing me this. So why is it that natural gas equities, the more speculative investment, are rallying and trying to break a downtrend and forming higher lows, and the actual underlying commodity hasn't even started to move yet? So you can imagine the sheer power once this commodity does bounce, how well some of these stocks are going to do. AR, really solid earnings report. EQT, another big bullish reversal even on the weekly chart. Take a look at that weekly bottoming tail. That's a thing of beauty. So when a lot of these stocks start to diverge from the underlying commodity, that's showing me we are nearing a near-term low in the underlying commodity. And I do think it's going to be a wild squeeze. I think there's going to be a huge reaction to the upside over the coming weeks. I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow or the next day, but I do think that based off of the technical setup here, Nat Gas could even have a 10% swing in one day. So even as a day trader, look out and keep this commodity on watch. Again, if you're interested in how I'm trading it, visit my website at tradingcapital.ca, where I run a swing trading and day trading service. But on that note, thank you everybody for tuning in. And if you're over levered, just hang tight. I do believe that there could be some more downside, but we're close to a big reversal zone here. Hopefully people have not been hit too hard if you've been following some of the videos that I've been posting here on this commodity. We've certainly been trying to keep you out of the downside price action, and now that we're kind of fulfilling downside targets, we're close to a little bit of a turning point here, and often the most money is made on the turn. Take care, everybody. We'll see you on the charts a bit later.